And we're back with some more Timberborn. And as the day dawns, we are just about ready to blast this thing into oblivion. This whole thing has to go. We have done a little excavation in the background. There's nothing left under this ledge. Though I suppose we could do a little blasting here. I mean, this stuff should all go as well. There's been a little bit of remodeling. Whoa. Okay, game did not like that even a little bit. It's getting a little late game. Game's getting a little antsy in its pants. But yeah, that looks a lot flatter. We have to make some renovations over here, but first it's time to remove this. All of it's got to go. All we have to do first, though, is knock out the supports. Right now, there's a bunch of supports down here, and as we demolish them, I think we will lose some of the upper stuff, as in some of the dirt will fall, but I'm not sure how much. So let's see what happens if we do that. Game didn't seem to mind too much. Let's just take all of that. Come on. We'll lose a little bit of the roof, but still most of the place is going to be upright. That dirt really has some good structural integrity. I don't know how it does it. You, I'll go. Okay, all the way back to the start. We'll lose a tiny bit there. I think that looks fine. Right, downside of this particular one is, because we've got diagonally, there's all of these explosives in here. So I just say we queue all of them to explode simultaneously. And, well, that's awkward. I left out those last 4 pieces there, but that is fine. And then we'll start this explosion here. And that will start a chain reaction all the way along. Question is, how much of this falls over now? And not nearly as much as I thought would fall. I was really expecting a lot more to go there. Like, literally, this has just been supported by the dirt over this edge. Anything falling? Anything? Oh my god, you can see, like, there's a giant hole underneath there. Well then. That seems to be working just fine. It gets in there, in there. Ah. Yeah, but I can't get a good angle on this no matter what way we do it. Seriously, I have no idea how this thing is still, like, supporting so much mass just from such a small amount of pressure over there. Yeah, so this stuff is keeping it upright. Are you finished with those? Actually, if they finished with those 4, that means we can just detonate these, and this whole side should go. I figure everything up to about here should instantly fall out the sky. And predictions? Reality. Yeah, there we go. Much better. Yes. And that's terraforming on a proper scale. Might have just been faster to blow it up from the top down. But that's just, I don't know, there's something more therapeutic about doing it that way. Alright, second water tank is up and running. Ooh, actually this is almost full. Do we have enough space in here to store 1.6 days worth of flow? I don't think we do. Actually, wait, no. We definitely have enough storage downstream. Yeah. We'll be fine. Probably. Are getting a little bit higher than I would like on this water tank, so I think we're going to start flooding this now. We've sealed off the hole down there, and there's some more work that needs to be done, but it's waterproof. And I think we're going to put in, yeah, right here should be perfect. And boom. Yeah, that lets some water in there. We'll also chuck in a little bit over here as well. I have some plans to add in some other things in this section, so knocking out 3 blocks is not the worst thing in the world. That should slow down the flow over that end. Or maybe even cut it off entirely once these catch up. And it also vastly increases the amount of evaporation surface area for all of the water. Not the worst thing in the world. Okay, finally, have you stopped? Have you stopped filling this tank? I mean, because it's like so close to the top, and the rules are we're not allowed to lose any more water. We actually had to gouge out a double layer hole here just to try and drain the water tanks fast enough. Seems to have finally stabilized. Good stuff. Now we can send some beavers down here to clean this area out as well. Yeah, the odd flicker of water tries to escape there, but I think we're good. In 0.5 days, we'll be into a drought, and then this entire water tank will probably have... Let's be realistic. Yeah, it'll probably just die to evaporation before we get to do anything else with it. But that's fine. So long as the water doesn't escape the map, we're technically not breaking any rules. Okay, we have 25 days of drought to look forward to. We can start sealing this off, I suppose. We don't need to waste any more water in here. Give us... Yeah, one layer of these should be grand. They can build it up in no time. That's actually a decent amount of water that went in there. Thankfully, nothing was wasted. Everything was saved, not a single drop escaped. And I think it's time we did some serious renovations here. This is very... meh. This is what we started with, this weird natural flowing river. I want to make a few adjustments to it to make it less, well, less awkward looking. By less awkward looking, I mean I want to make it straight. So we want to cut a channel that goes, well, 5 tiles wide through here. We've basically outlined it with these paths. So 5 tiles wide through here, and then 5 tiles wide all the way through here, and it will end up going out this section. That will be nice and neat, and it'll turn perfectly here at a right angle. I figure we blast this open as best we can, though, you know what? You need to be closed. Perfect. I'm going to close all of you. Don't want you letting any water through. So that should mean we can blast our way through here and fill in, well, landfill in a bunch of it as well. There's a whole bunch of this that just needs to be landfilled. There's no reason to keep it the way it is. And as well as that, we'll have to make some adjustments here. I think we're going to raise this all 1 tile up so that everything... I just want a 1 tile wide river, 5 tiles wide. Or sorry, 1 tile deep, 5 tiles wide going through here. That's it. It's the whole point. And, ooh, need that up another tile, do we? You know what? We'll figure it out as we go. First off, let's just start blasting. Oh, damn it. We were so close. How did I mess that up? Okay. It's done. This took a little bit of time, and remind me never again to blast from the top down. It's much easier to dig them out from underneath. We basically ran through all our dynamite, blasting down from the top, taking out this edge. Far better to dig underneath and then just let the whole thing fall. Though, stuck on 3 extra explosives factories just because. We might as well make sure we don't run out of explosives anytime soon. We're about to start another temperate season. I'm going to make some minor changes. Namely, all 4 of these liquid tanks are connected, but this 5th one is not, or reservoirs, whatever we're calling them. So I think what we'll do is this. We will delete these here, and we'll replace them with dams. Now, dams will allow some water through, but it needs to get up to about, I want to say 60% or something. That should mean that once this water tank starts to get above, well, gets to near the top, it'll start flooding in here. And then, once it's flooded in here, it will then start overflowing there. That way, all of these will get filled first. And I think I've got an idea of how to make this work without being completely wasteful in water. What we'll do is we'll start shuffling, we'll move the water around, and we'll keep the water in the tanks. Like, there was some great suggestions, and one of them is we keep moving the water into the primary tank. So this would be our primary tank, and we would section this into either 4 or 8 sections. And then we would move the water from each tank, so there would be like the primary tank, the secondary, the tertiary, all the way back. So we'd have 8 tanks, and the water would get pumped from tank 8 into tank 7, and from tank 7 into tank 6, and all the way up to the end. And when it fills in the reverse order. So it'll fill tank 1 first, and tank 2, then tank 3, meaning we should be able to keep all the water we want, and anything we don't use will evaporate, or anything we don't use will get flooded off the map, say something like here. But all the rest of it will be kept, and if there's ever some really heavy droughts, our primary tanks will always remain topped up to the gills. Is it overkill? Well, people might argue this was overkill, but you know what? This tickles a part of my brain. When you look at this and you're like, yes, this is now nice and clean and flat and organized, and this river is perfectly square. It just, I don't know, there's a part of your brain that goes, yes, do more of that. All right, now we just got to quickly demolish this thing right here. Prep work has started quite well. Now if we zoom down to the layer we want, we'll see that we've got all the dynamite is either placed or being placed for cracking open this section. I think we're just going to dig in right here. We don't care if this area gets flooded, and we can have all of the beavers come in from this section, drop down here, and just core this out from the bottom. It's like termites. We get in at the roots, and the next thing you know, the whole thing's gone. Just before we head into drought season, if we check over here, where is it? Ah, yes. All of our water is still flowing into this tank. This one's still not even close to full, and none of it has actually overflowed into our overflow reservoir. We might actually dump some water in there just to top it up a bit. This thing's only purpose is to provide a little bit of water down here. We're not actually feeding anything off this. It's just makes our base look pretty. Don't normally go for this sort of thing, but hey, why not? We're trying to keep the beavers reasonably happy, and I think a little bit of the flowing river for now will keep them reasonably okay. Anyway, we're just going to finish this off real quick. Well, we have termited our way through the base of this in quite good time. Game is definitely not liking the amount of pathing options we've given. Let's just detonate this and see what happens. It should be fairly predictable. I think we've done a good job this time. And the whole thing is linked the entire way around. And yes, there we go. Maybe. God, damn it. Yeah, the game does not like what's going on. Let's try double speed instead of triple. Maybe that'll be a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. It's much smoother. I may just have to, this is very similar to Oxygen Unclaimed, that once it gets to a certain point, you can't go max speed anymore. You got to go double instead of triple. And are you, yeah, you're going the back there as well. It is truly amazing how much dirt can be supported by so little. And oh no, we've missed something, haven't we? We definitely have missed something. There's something down here that's holding this up. Somewhere. Aha! There you are. Yeah, this is unfortunately going to cause a whole bunch of this to collapse, and we're not going to get to see it because we're miles underneath. Yeah, well, it is what it is. Yeah, there. Damn it. Well, that was unfortunate. Doesn't matter, we got the rest of it down. And there's another water reservoir set to go. Just got 2 more of those to go, and a lot of planks going to making those. I think I need a couple of extra plank sections for storing planks. Nope. First, I want to let this project finish out. What we have over here is 2 badwater sources we would like domed and just capped off. So it's well, the complete opposite side of the map to where we are, but you can see the stream of beavers headed this way to construct a zipline station. Then we'll have to build our way down here, across, and in. At the same time, we built another place over here. This is another badwater rig. That's capped this off. We don't have to worry about that one. In fact, I might turn this into a second badwater rig. Might be an idea. If we open this, nothing happens, right? Yeah, that's the... We'd need the other variant if we wanted, or the iron teeth if we wanted that to be able to actually do anything else, as in continuously pump bad water for us. You, give us a badwater rig, and... You know what, you can face that way. Why not? We won't be using that for the time being, but it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Right now we've got more than enough bad water coming in to meet our current explosive needs. Since we now know what our plan is for the water, what we've done is we have sealed in this reservoir/tank. As in, there's dirt going all the way to the ground there. As in, this tank is now completely separated. All completely separated from all the rest. Then what we do is when this tank gets all the way to the top, it starts to overflow in this direction. Through these tiles. And then once this tank gets all the way to the top, it'll overflow into this next tank. And then we'll cut a gash through here, and here, and here, and eventually it'll come all the way back around to the front. So we'll have 8 separate liquid tanks we can store in. We'll have to set up some pumping systems to move the water from one tank to the other. We could always... No, actually we will. We'll need some way to do that. That way, wherever we are, we might have empty tanks because we've literally pumped all the water out of them and into the reserves. And the less surface area we have, then the less evaporation we get, which means the more dangerous it becomes, or as in the longer the droughts get, the safer we'll be because we'll be pumping the water. Since this is the 3rd tank, if we fill up everything, if all 8 tanks are full, this can overflow, which would be a very strange occurrence. But I think we might actually hook this up. Like, we can hook that up to our liquid system and actually have those rivers feed around. I mean, it would be sad not to have those rivers flowing even just a little bit. It's looking quite not green around this area at the moment. But, oh, yes, underground, we are busy termiting away at this next section. We've only got like 2 sections of this to go, and we've fully finished out the guts of the dam system. Okay, we've cleaned it out and popped a few of the edge pieces that are not very necessary. And you can go, and you can go. Anything else? No, I think that should be sufficient to get this whole bowl rolling, or this cliff collapsing. See, there we go. We can see them peeling away. That's what you're looking for. Looks nice. Yeah, and I assume, does that destroy that scrap? I presume there's a lot of scrap on that. Does that scrap actually get destroyed, or is it left behind as rubble? We'll find out in a minute. And let's see. Planks, planks, and more planks. Yeah, I think it actually destroys the scrap. Yeah, well, we didn't need it anyway, but hey, good to know. And there is another thing. Literally, we've only got one left. We have blasted our way through everything, and we've almost got this, not quite where I want it, but one more, and yeah, we can finally start on the last pieces of this. It's kind of, it's a deceptive game. It starts off nice and cutesy, and next thing you know, you're like, oh yeah, let's just mega project this just a little bit. So at this point, all we have to do to finish out the tanks, well, we're still going to have to do the pumps, of course, but all we have to do is dig out this one. And we have got this down to a fine art at this point, so we should be able to shoot through it in no time. And we have, yeah, we have an ingress point here already prepped. Yeah, we can dig this out in no time at all. One interesting thing from doing this is how the scrap works, or bits left behind. So when you leave behind bits of planks and things like that, they don't get picked up by your haulers. They only get picked up by builders. So when we are building in here, what happens is the beavers come down, and so long as they're building, they won't go and pick up any of this scrap. Even if we empty out all of our plank storage to build this, all of this stuff's going to be left on the ground and they're not going to touch it. However, once they have caught up with all of the building, and right now they have, because most of this is not in range, the rest of the builders go off and they start hoovering up all of the planks that are around the place. So right now we've got about 3 of 5,000. So what I've started doing is, well, basically having a massive stockpile of planks is really necessary, and about 5,000 is fine. Then what happens is I let them build out until they kind of hit the edge, and then once they stop, I sort of pulse it, so they do a big build, then they stop, they collect all the planks to restock storage, then we start them up again, and repeat. And you'll see we've stripped all of the resources out of here, like everywhere else has been stripped. Now we will be left with a whole bunch of excess planks at the end, but I'm sure we'll find a use for them, or we can just destroy them. We don't really care, and we have increased log storage enough that we don't have to care. We got 15,000 logs. We're going to be good for wood for a little while longer anyway. How are they looking right there? Up to 4,500 already. They can really catch up with that hauling once there's no building to be done. But the moment, let's see, we'll get these guys over there. We'll extend this on a little bit. And all of a sudden, all of the beavers stop going over here. All of them are inbound here at this very moment, carrying all of the planks. Nope, there's still a few scraps left over. I suppose there's a lot of builders and not as much area to work on. The surface area they've got to work on has decreased, but still drastically decreasing the amount of beavers going into hauling. For our next magic trick, we're going to make this entire mountain, or, well, chunk of rock, disappear. All we have to do is say the magic word, and the magic word is, choo! Ooh. Yeah, there we go. Close enough. Took a second to take effect. I think the game was lagging. And gone. Instantly done. Oh, I should probably let the water from this storage go in there. I mean, they can even out it. Actually, you know what? It's not even worth it. You see, what's going to happen now is during the next flood season or temperate season, this will fill with water some more, and that should overflow into this tank. So these two should definitely be full by the end of the next temperate season. Probably even the third one. But then it's going to take about 2 to 3 more seasons before this fills. Then by the time that happens, oh, probably it's 2 to 3, say 4 to 5, 6 to 7, 8 to 9, 10 to 11. Like, but taking into account evaporation, it's like it's going to be 15 seasons before all of these fill. Slowly but surely. Right now, we've got all of our tanks set up to take overflow. So this is our primary tank, secondary, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and finally the eighth tank, which is completely dry. And yes, they're all sealed in. So they're all separated from each other, barring these little hangs here. So we can get the water into them. It's getting the water out. That's the problem. And before we start attaching pumps to these, I thought we'd make them their full size. And I was going to put them up as high as we could possibly go, but then I thought, why not just make them as high as our industrial brick and our clover farms? And all we have to do is take it up about 4 tiles, and then our water tanks and our industrial and our farms will all be of even height. That appeals to me more. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like me a good-sized water tank, but if we can make a good-sized water tank and have it, the same height as everything else, I think that would be preferable. Hard part is, how do we raise all of this up 4 tiles without having to the demolishment? And it's not going to be particularly easy. If it had started like this, it probably would have been a better plan. But hey, you live and you learn, and the mistakes you make, you just have to live with them. So we're going to have to put in a little stairs here to go up 4 tiles and then get ourselves a platform started. Considering our now extensive knowledge of stairs, this was pretty easy to put together. And that should get us the 4 tiles up. We need to be level with the rest of our builds. Now, we will have to demolish some of this stuff here, but I don't think it'll be a problem. Once we get started, it should be self-reinforcing. And once we get a zipline station up here, it'll be slow, but we should be able to increase the size of this tank pretty quickish. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Once they get up there and get that installed, once that's up and running, we can then start just plowing across here. We should probably make multiple locations to get up. The problem is, once we start making multiple locations to get up, we have to... You know what? Slow and steady. We're in... And how? How have you walled yourselves in already? We only just started. The Muppets. Doesn't matter. Either they'll run out of battery juice and die, or they'll get kicked out of it, and they'll get... Yeah. They'll either get forced out of it or popped up to the top. One way or the other, they will get out of there. Okay, now I just have to remember all of the things that went into building this originally, and that's lots and lots of bridges. Also, we're going to have to lift this entire thing up 4 tiles. Why? Why? Why didn't I just build it 4 tiles taller? I have to do so much rebuilding. Oh, yeah. You know what? It'll be worth it. Just, it needs to be the same height. Having everything the same height just feels so much better. Yeah, we'll get 1 tank finished, and then I want to put in a shunt to move the water from here into there and make sure it works before we go any further. This feels like such a dumb idea. The amount of extra stuff we have to do to get this working is ridiculous. Oh, and we should probably maybe speed up the production of those 2. I want to make sure they get done before the dirt goes in above it. If the dirt goes in above it before we get those dynamite down, then we'll have to blast the stuff above it. Come on. Do those quickly. It only takes one explosives. And yeah, it's bad tight ended and we're back to good water. I don't think we're going to get to fill this water tank up to its new brim this round, but we might fill the first 3 sections of our tank. Hopefully. On the bright side, this system seems to be working quite nicely. I mean, we're 2 days into the new temperate cycle, and we're almost full 2 of the 8 tanks. The other ones have went through serious amounts of evaporation, but they're still, like, we're definitely going to fill 2 tanks. And we might even get... Nah, we won't fill the 3rd. And it's going to take another temperate session to fill that one, assuming we don't do anything excessive with the water in the meantime. Okay, it looks like I underestimated the water flow. That's 1 tank, 2, 3 is full, and we're now moving on to 4. Okay, I severely underestimated how much water was coming out of there. I suppose we haven't got 6 days. Actually, a decent amount. Okay. Well, in that case, let's finish this out. We just want to get this first one done so we can start on the pump system. Okay, that's it. Just about the same. It's the exact same height as our industrial bricks. That means it's nice and level. Perfect. And we're just sealing it up now. The hard part is going to be this. This is where we store some explosives, some extract. That's the stuff. Dear God, my brain's melted. And then a whole bunch of planks are all stored here. We're trying to move them out, but we've nowhere to move them. And all we're basically going to do is demolish all of this and lift it up 4 tiles. And then put it back roughly the same. Might change the outline of the zipline stations just a tad, though. The annoying bit is actually cleaning up all those little dirt spikes you put to hold stuff in. I've even had to shortcut key the detonate button just because at this point we've done it so often. Well, okay, it wasn't just this. We've been detonating a fair bunch of dynamite all throughout this. Yep, and there's a few more pieces over here. So sometimes I feel like I should just leave these little nobbins in. Okay, how are we looking over here? Good start. Now let's start bricking this in. We won't replace it exactly as it was before, but we're going to do it pretty close. What we're trying to do here is just make the flow of traffic a little bit more intuitive. So every single one of these is going to have 2 lanes coming in here and 2 lanes going out, and then they will all meet at a double so that the 2 of them are facing into each other and can transfer traffic. One goes back down into the tank for any maintenance inside the tank or building inside the tank, and then the other one goes up into the center, and there's some doubles facing in each one of those so that we can spread it out and all of them can hook up together, and the traffic can go on anywhere along this tank. Clover tank? I don't know. What do you call this? It's a diamond of some sort. Well, close enough. It looks very similar to our clover designs, but it's just not 4 stories tall. It's a little bit taller than that. Well, actually, no. It's the exact same height. It just doesn't have any layers to it. All right. This could take a little time. Just to upgrade the next 2 layers of the tank is going to require us to do all of this and all of this. No, we're starting to come upon standardization. When you do things enough times, you start to actually standardize on a build pattern, which at this point is 2 bridges, one after the other, then a little gap so that you can hook it into the transport system. Then 2 more level 6 bridges, another little gap for the transport system, 2 level 6 bridges, another little transport thingy. And that should be the consistent pattern we use the whole way along. I'll have to probably renovate this at the end, but at the moment it's a little bit busy. As you can see, the traffic is exceptional. How did we strand 3 beavers? Where did we strand them? How did you even get there? That's like... I'm not even mad. I'm just sort of impressed. Oh my god, you came over all this way? And you walked that... No wonder some of you ran out of batteries. Sorry, that's your home now. You're not leaving. That's just it. That's where you go now. From now on, that's where you live. I'm afraid there's no getting you out of there. We're going to have to take we'll go the long way around. Okay. I am running out of time, but I think we've actually had a fair decent chunk of progress today. We've actually cleaned out all 4 leaves. So after excavating all of those and come up with an actual system now, I think, yeah, I think I can hammer out most of the walls in the background, and then it's just give me a case of putting in a pumping system. So the pumps, unfortunately, do take a little bit of power. What is it? 700 hamster power per mechanical fluid pump. We're going to need 3, if not 4 of them for every tank. But shouldn't really have more than 5 of them active at any one time, in theory. And I figure we basically use these things. Where is it? Overhangs. So what we'll probably do near the top levels is put on some overhangs and use those to host wind turbines and batteries and feed them into the power. So we'll basically be half covering the tank, as in putting a big canopy over it. That'll just be covered in windmills, batteries, stuff like that, and we feed all of those into powering all the pumps. You know, it'll be an au natural water-powered thingy. We don't even need the batteries, to be honest, because so long as it's on for... Actually, no, we should definitely do them just in case. Otherwise, you might have to double down on the... You know what? That is for the next episode. For now, I'm going to cut this out here. I hope you enjoyed it. Good luck.